Alright, so I was asked to cover a few exotic pairs, and the first one I would like to start off with is GBPAUD. So, as I've always mentioned, my favorite time frame is the weekly chart, because with the weekly chart I can easily see what price is looking to do next. Of course, most of the time it may not be the cleanest chart, but in this case it's decent. So we can see on the weekly chart that we have we've been respecting this weekly sell side imbalance, this fair value gap in the form of a sell side imbalance, and I believe that we are weak enough that we couldn't even trade into the consequent encroachment of the CB to retrace to the downside. Before I do continue, let's look at the closest correlated pair that I could think of, which is Euro AUD. And we can see on Euro we are extremely we are more bullish on the Euro than we are with the pound, and that makes sense because of the reasons that I've covered in my previous videos, because right now Euro is still stronger than the pound right now. So if we're looking for sells, if we're looking for selling opportunities, we mainly we'll look for the weaker one of the two, which in this case is GBPAUD. So going down to the daily time frame, the daily chart, we can see that we did come back again into this sell side imbalance on a Tuesday of last week. Looking down there, we can see it was Tuesday the 14th of November 2023. So Tuesday made the high of the week in a high time frame PDRA. Yes, we are returning to this PDRA yet again, but I'm still looking for a down move. And then when Wednesday closed off extremely bearish the way it did, I did not want to see this much of a retracement back into the range before a continuation to the downside. So already this green candle, this bullish candle, is worrisome to some degree to me. So let's actually start off with the 9-hour chart to break it down properly. So looking at the 9-hour chart, we can sort of see a stepping ladder to the upside. We can see how price rallied, and every bearish move was supporting higher prices. So here we had an order block, pushed up, came back to the order block, pushed up again, came back to this fair value gap, pushed up with this order block, and then here on Tuesday we had a displacement from Tuesday going into Wednesday. So obviously if this was the case, and if we were going to be creating a market maker buy model in a way, because it kept on going up, at this point we should only have come back to retrace into this fair value gap, this sell side imbalance, not by a lot, but about the consequent encroachment to push lower. Because if it had pushed lower, we could look for a retracement to finally clear and complete the market maker buy sell model. So that's what I wanted to see. But you can see price did not only cover this inefficiency completely, it even traded above it. And I believe on a 4-hour chart we even closed above a sell side imbalance, because I wanted to see this remain open, but you can see we literally closed above it and continue to the downside. So going into next week, I would like to see a closure on a 4-hour chart below this swing low from Wednesday of last week. So I'd like to see a closure below this, and then a continuation of some sort of the market maker sell model. So then a continuation like so. I probably would not look for the low of the week to the high of the week to be happening on a Tuesday in this case, unless price is going to just chop around on Monday and then trade up into this balanced price range, which is this fair value gap, this buy side imbalance here. Pull it to the right, we have a sell side imbalance, and the rules for a BPR, a balanced price range, if it really is a balanced price range, is that it should not fill the fair value gap. So look for a possibility of a trade up into this on a Tuesday if we're going to chop around here without taking out this sell side liquidity from Wednesday. So Tuesday of the week could potentially be formed at that point, then a continuation to the downside. That's what I'm looking for on GBP AUD. Of course, I've already mentioned that I'm looking for the same on Euro AUD, but it's not the weaker of the two. So I wouldn't be, yes, we have a similar stepping structure to the upside, and we also got the displacement after a turtle soup happened here, creating the high of the week again on a Tuesday. Yes, we got that, but we didn't get the cleanest price action. So with this one, I would definitely be looking for a sweeping liquidity on these lows, and not only just a sweep but a complete closure below this low. Once we get that, I will then look for a retracement to possibly continue this to the initial consolidation down there. So that's what I'm looking for on Euro AUD and GBP AUD. And while we're here, actually, let's set an alert to let me know when we closed below this swing low created on Wednesday of last week on Euro AUD. So that's what I'm looking for, initial consolidation, market maker buy sell model, but I would not like to see this high that was created on Tuesday to be swept. I would like to see an expansion, a displacement below from here. That's on this pair. Then the next one I was asked to look at was AUDCAD. So we got that, the Australian dollar with the Canadian dollar. Starting off again with the weekly chart as always. Let's take all this for a little bit more visibility. On a weekly chart, we have this buy side imbalance, this PDR high time frame PDRA that was not really tagged into, or maybe it was barely, but this I would not consider to be getting tagged into a high time frame PDRA, because the low of this candle is 0.87651 and the low of this candle is 0.87655. So we didn't even really tag into this buy side imbalance from a weekly chart. So I would have ideally liked to see us tag into this, but besides that, I am also looking at the fact that we had a sweeping liquidity at this point, a turtle soup on a higher time frame, probably on a monthly chart. We got a turtle soup there, and now we have a displacement. Yes, we did not tag into this, but that could just indicate that we are really bullish in these markets, and we have a high time frame market structure shift at this point when we closed above this swing high. So right now, even though we may not trade down to that low again, we could potentially use this bearish candle as a bullish order block, because we have closed above the swing high of that order block. So of course, with an order block, the invalidation point is always at the low of it. So that's what I'm looking for so far on AUDCAD, especially on a weekly time frame. Going down to the daily time frame, we see that more bullish prices were respected, like using this PDRA last week, tagging into this buy side imbalance on a Thursday and expanding to the upside. And we can also see here that the weekly order block is also within these last two down close candles before the expansion up. So I really don't think or see us going down to this low, because of how we respected it already, going to the upside. Of course, I'm not neglecting the possibility, but I don't really favor us going down below the swing low that was made on Thursday of last week. And of course, I've already highlighted that I'm targeting this buy side as my closest draw on liquidity, and then we'll see from there. So we might just open up and then trade a little bit lower and continue to the upside. So let's actually set an alert at that level, which is the daily bullish order block. So this alert will make me pay attention to see where we are and potentially take this up. So that's all I see on AUDCAD. Again, lower time frames like the 4 hour, we've been respecting bullish PDRAs like that fair value gap. Like this is now a mitigation block. This last 3 consecutive candles, because we did not sweep a swing low, we didn't sweep a swing low, so I'll consider this to be a mitigation block. So yeah, we could see ourselves trading back down into it, not too far into the range, and then a push higher to this buy side liquidity. That's what I'm looking for on Australian dollar with the Canadian dollar. The last one, well, maybe not necessarily very last, but the one of them that I also found interesting to see was EURGBP. I don't like trading this, to be honest. I don't really see the benefits of trading EURGBP because of the very close interest rate that they both have. There's not much of an interest rate differential with the two. On a weekly chart, we have this sell side imbalance, this fair value gap here in a form of a sell side imbalance that's being tagged into again, and we have this BC. So prices essentially be bouncing between these two PDRAs the last few weeks. And going down to the daily chart, yes, we can see its price delivery has been bullish, and we could possibly tag into this inefficiency next, this daily sell side imbalance there. So that's the next drawn liquidity for me. Let's actually highlight it. If I'm just going to be following order flow blindly without really reasoning too much, I'll be looking for this to be the next drawn liquidity going into next week. Let's see. For an entry, I'll basically be looking at this area. You can call them a rejection block. So I'll look to see if price can trade down into it, then continue to the upside. But again, as I already mentioned, I'm not really the biggest fan of EURGBP, but that's what I'll be looking to see going into next week. And yeah, on the lower time frame, same thing. I don't really see much going on here, but I would like to see higher prices on EURGBP at the end of the day. And finally, the very last one that I wanted to cover was NZDUSD. I know this is not an exotic, it's literally just a major pair, but one area that I was looking at are these relative equal highs. They are very easy draw on liquidity to me right now. So let's see the exact price levels. So there we have that, and we have that. So we can see it's 0.60558, 0.60550. So this is slightly lower than this one, but literally by 8 pips. So keeping in mind that this is a daily chart, I'm looking to see if we could essentially clear these equal highs. And on a daily chart again, this was once a possible trade to the downside. We had a let's see if I can make this visible. Oh, jeez. So on a daily chart, we can see price here at a displacement lower, creating a fair value gap with a sell side imbalance. So price traded up into that sell side imbalance as a turtle soup on a lower time frame, then a rejection to the downside. So this was interesting to see, and we looked to see if we could respect lower prices from there to clear the sell side liquidity. But since we didn't, this same PDRA was violated at this point, I believe during CPI. We violated it, closed above it, and now officially has become an inversion fair value gap. And we can see how nearly perfect this was for price to come back into it inside of this massive buy side imbalance, for us to respect it and continue to the upside. So this respecting a high time frame PDRA is already making me go on a lower time frame, like a 4-hour or 1 hour, to see how it's been treating. So we again respected the daily inversion, and notice how here we also respected this buy side imbalance on a 4-hour chart. So we've been respecting bullish PDRAs essentially so far, and we are continuing to the upside from here, according to what I'm seeing. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen in the markets. Of course, the dollar has been chopping around a little bit, but this is what I'm looking at going into next week. So I'm looking for higher prices, and I'm going to be setting my alert here on the 1-hour chart. So I have this buy side imbalance residing here, essentially just following order flow. Nothing really deep about this, nothing really crazy. It's literally just following order flow. So I'm looking to see if we can respect this buy side imbalance on a 1-hour time frame and shoot for this relative equal highs on NZDUSD. I believe that's all there is for now. If there's anything else that you guys might need me to cover, please let me know. But for now, stay safe, good luck, and good trading.